is a Bulldog radio podcast.
The Ferris State Bulldogs have upset the nation's #2 ranked team. Wide open! Taylor is going to take this one to the house! Touchdown Bulldogs!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Most Valuable Sports Podcast, episode 25 of Season 4. We're glad you've joined us today. Brandon Worth, of course, with my partner across from me, Joe Nagy, with a great episode ahead, including an absolutely great interview, Joe.
For sure. We got Will McElfresh on the show today. He's a Ferris State's videographer. Dude, he's insane at what he does. He is the best in the business, and that's no bias at all. If you watch his clips, you know that what he does is just make banger after banger. And we can't wait to have him on and let you guys listen to what he has to talk about, his journey to Ferris State, as well as getting better every day at what he does. Brandon?
Yeah, it's been great. And you guys loved the extended interview we had with Malik Mitchell and Carson Golker, both quarterbacks and, of course, winners of the Midwest Regional title against Grand Valley. You can check that out in the feed below if you haven't, but we figure we might as well keep that rolling. So we'll give you an extended interview with Will as well as get into the Ferris State Sports Report and our NFL picks to wrap up the show. But let's stop wasting time, Joe. Let's get to it.
Let's swing it to the interview.
Now joined in studio, Ferris State sports videographer Will McElfresh is joining us. Will, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Will, you're the best in the game, straight up. Probably the best videographer for basically any NCAA team. I will say, you're way too humble for it. But if you want to, just tell us kind of how you came to Ferris State, kind of stuff like that. I mean, you're from Virginia, so it's kind of a little bit of a trek, and you know how you got working with Ferris State athletics and all that stuff.
Well, you know, I went to college first at VCU. And I was doing sports communication, not sports communications, mass comm. And, you know, I wasn't really liking it. It wasn't really my thing. VCU, the city environment's really not all that. So I knew I wanted to do film even when I was there. And my mom told me about a place in Michigan. It was Ferris State. I mean, I've had family who live here. I have family. Most of my family on my mom's side actually has gone to college in Michigan, you know, like Hope College. A lot of them went there. They were, younger, of course. But, yeah, she told me about it. I just applied. I knew I wanted to study film and learn more about it. And I ended up here. We at the television and digital media production, learn a lot of good stuff about film and just overall production and television, obviously there. But it wasn't until probably 2 years ago where I was filming a news segment for one of my classes, film production. And during the poly hockey game where they had all the hockey boys and Bob and everyone was there, and I had my gimbal and I was just shooting low angle shots of Steiny behind the net, and Harrison just comes up behind me like, "Hey, you want to shoot some hockey?" I'd be like, yeah, I would love to." Like, of course,
yeah.
So it's about, like I said, we talked about earlier before the show. I have a lot of athletic background playing hockey and stuff like that. So I think, pretty much in general, I think the best thing I could do was combine my two passions, right? Combine my love for sports and my love for film. And I think Harrison gave me the perfect opportunity to do that here at Ferris. I mean,
you've been taking off with it too. Yeah, you've been killing it.
And when I started this, I was 1% of what I am now. I feel like, I mean, I knew how to edit. I knew how to like film a little bit, but I mean, it's nothing to what I've grown on, especially since taking on these games. And, even since this, like I did this internship last semester where I was doing, you know, commerce sports, not football, softball, a little basketball, stuff like that. And even then, I think I look back on that footage and I almost deem it useless. Like, I feel like that's how much I've progressed. And since this time I've started, I feel like I almost wouldn't even want to put that on like my website. I feel like my other footage shines so much more. But yeah, no, I'm really happy I got here. And honestly, I did not think I was going into sports videography or anything like that. Once I came up here, I thought I was just going to go the film route. But dude, I'm so happy I didn't. Honestly, I could see myself working in the industry for sports doing this.
Yeah. Really the product you've put out has just been flat out incredible. And many people probably they know Will, but they don't actually know who Will is because you're literally the hype man for all of these sports teams. If you've seen a hype video, it's probably Will's, and you've probably been in your feels and chills plenty of times. But what really goes into that, there's so much elements of just overall like filtering all of the color as well as sound editing with the music, obviously cutting clips and all that sort of thing. Yep. How do you go about when you get all of your film together from a game of football or hockey and then just say, all right, here's what I'm going to create?
Oh, man, it's a great question. It takes a lot of thought. I mean, the more it's usually the same for any film aspect. The more you think about it in pre, the easier it is to do in post, right? But usually what I'll do, I really won't go that direction. I'll do that direction in film. But when it comes to sports highlights, you usually have like 200 clips, and you got the stream audio, you got stuff like that. I will literally just take a song, take all the clips and put them on. And I don't know if you guys ever worked with Premiere Pro, like time remapping. You could right click, do speed. I do that with pretty much every single clip. And that takes me days, like literally days. I worked on that video that I released yesterday, or it was yesterday morning. I worked on just clips from Sunday to Wednesday morning, even Tuesday night, I think. It's like 85% of my time goes into just putting those clips on the timeline and remapping, cutting, and making sure they match up with every word, hi-hat, beat hit, all of that.
That's crazy.
So that's that's the most tedious work of it all. But when it comes to color, audio, stuff like that, I'd say that's the easier part. You're not making something crazy. You're just making something super fast, something pleasing, like you said, gives them chills, super happy, like hype videos, like you said, something the football players would like. And I think, that the best thing is just to spend a lot of time on the remaps, because I mean, that's where you slow motion, man.
That's what everybody sees.
Slow motion.
Everyone notices for sure.
Yeah, and especially with like the things that you say tease, but that's really what makes the videos that much better, is really just going down to the nitty gritty and getting that stuff done. But obviously for me, I think my favorite video that you've made is the Wayne State one with Eminem's song. I mean, Brandon has a couple. I mean, I know you like the Lenore Ryan
that
one
was
from the
good,
first one. I mean, it might be my favorite, but also every one that you made is a banger. So for you, which ones have like been kind of your favorite ones to make from just start to finish, getting clips as well? Which one's kind of your favorite? I know it's probably like trying to choose a favorite child or something like that with what you made, but which one's your favorite so far?
Favorite in like experience or favorite in like quality that I made out of it?
Let's say both. Which one's both?
Both. Wow. Lenore Ryan probably was my favorite experience. Even though, I mean, the drive sucked, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Was it 12 hours or something?
12 hours and back and forth in 2 days.
Yeah.
Not even. I mean, that was ridiculous. But the trip being down there, the beautiful stadium, warm weather. Actually, well, it rained, but it wasn't cold.
Yeah.
The footage was great. And that was really in the beginning of the season where I was, getting comfortable. But I would say that was my most fun experience. I mean, anywhere, and obviously home, I think the home games are still better. You don't have to go anywhere, and all the fans being hype, getting some shots of the fans is always fun. But like I said earlier, I think my videos are just getting better and better. So if you were to ask me what my favorite one was, it would have to be one of the most recent ones, because I feel like it's so much faster. It's what I really worked on from the beginning, from that first Central Washington game to now. I make my cuts a lot faster, less transitions too. I try to make the transitions more natural in camera movement than some zoom effect. I still add them when necessary, but it's like a good transition is almost invisible, right? That's how I see it in my videos. Like I almost don't even see them. But for quality, man, it is between the last two. Like I'm saying, I really think my work's getting a lot better, and I'm seeing it in the views too. Like people are loving it. Like I said before here, also like I hadn't had a video get above like 9K views, and even before that, a couple weeks ago, probably only like 130 likes. This one today is at like 350 likes.
Wow,
jeez, man,
and like 13,000 plays already. I'm just like, dude, this is insane. Like on my dog video, the meme video, which I made out of nowhere.
That was hilarious, by the way.
That was hilarious.
Excellent.
I just saw that meme again, and I'm like, dude, this is so fun. It just gave me instant brilliant idea. I'm like, I just need to put their videos and like a little title of them over it. And I mean, people loved it. That's still getting likes. Like I posted like 2 weeks ago. I don't know how people are still seeing it, but no, I'm super excited that I'm like growing and it's showing on the social media. And that, of course, my peers like y'all love it. Like that's what makes it most important to me, is like the feedback I get from my friends and the football players. I think that's like really the most important thing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to videography, photography, everybody believes they can do it, right? But of course, you can't just go out there with your iPhone 10 and just start shooting stuff, right? There's so much equipment that goes involved, and you can get as nerdy as you want about your arsenal, because I know there's a lot of people that like only having one camera with 1,000 different accessories, or it's 3 cameras set up with different already preset overall equipment and all the accessories with it. What do you rock with usually when you're going on a trip like this to go shoot?
Well, definitely one camera. I think most people who do multi-camera setups are photographers. That's why they have different focal lengths on every camera, and they switch out fast. But with my setup, for warm-ups, I'll use my gimbal, stabilizer just for my camera. You stay a wide angle, 24-70, 2.8. Looks super nice. That's my favorite lens ever. I got it right before the season just for this. I'm like, oh, the warm-up footage is going to look so good. And then for the game, I have a little tripod with a little fluid head on it to stay low to the ground. You'll see that in pretty much any professional setting, like any NFL or college football. I see a lot of guys super low to the ground with a fluid head so they can catch all the action super smoothly. And then a normal like 70 to 200, I mean, it's really just the accessories, like you said. It just looks crazy because it's just like a monitor, a mic, a couple a cage and a handle and all that stuff on it. But in reality, it's a normal, like a setup, like a little zoom lens, 70 to 200. I love it. We're always upgrading.
Yeah. And really with Christmas coming up, is there more that's in store? Not to spoil it for some of those that are looking forward to the content you're going to produce in the future, but you got some things that you're looking for on the Christmas list this year?
That's funny. If our games weren't after Christmas, yeah. But no, going into the season, like halfway through it, it's funny. I just noticed how crisp Jeffy's footage looked, and I was like, oh man, I really want 4K. And I just couldn't wait. So yeah, I upgraded to a 4K camera. I was thinking about getting a better lens, but it's like, everything that I get now would be for sports, and it obviously would help me in the future too, but I think I can wait for it. We'll see. I might get the 70 to 200, 2.8. It's like, mine's a four apertures, and that one's 2.8, and it's just a little 1.2 difference, and it's like what, $1,600 more.
Yeah,
jeez,
it's stupid.
Yeah, that's camera stuff nowadays.
But yeah, no, most of the stuff for football though, I wanted to get before the season ended. I didn't want to wait till Christmas. Yeah, I can't really think of anything I have for my camera stuff. Other than that, yeah.
It's still cool though. You're still going to produce great stuff. We know that for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, of course.
And speaking of the seasons changing, I mean, hockey's started up, and you've been able to kind of get some videos out for them as well.
Barely.
Yeah. But what's kind of been like the biggest difference, especially between the two with football and hockey, and even basketball now too, that you're starting to get into that with the season coming around? What's ones that's kind of like your favorite things to shoot with those 3 sports, and what's the biggest differences between those 3 when you're trying to capture video?
Oh yeah, they're all different. Basketball is, it's great, especially when the football guys show up, because they make everything better. I mean, they make the game for the players better, and they make the game for me better because they're funny. They're giving their refs some crap, and like they're taught, and then I can see them. It's familiar faces that I like. Hockey, like I said, I come from a background of hockey. I love it, but I mean, it's pretty stagnant. You're just kind of standing there. It's really fast action, so you're kind of just trying to get the best shots for the second possible almost. Like I definitely had a couple times this season where I missed a goal or two, especially in the beginning, and change that out by staying wider. But no, it's just something about football that's different. The people and the environment is really just what settles me, like what tells me that I love football more than any other sport. I would really want to film football because the guys, I mean, you guys have been on the sidelines. You know how rowdy they are.
Oh yeah,
they're getting right after.
And how hyped they get. And every time someone makes a play, everyone's there to hype them up. And anytime someone messes up, they're there to bring them up. So I mean, it's just a really great environment. I mean, the worst part about it, I think the only thing hockey and basketball have better over football is that they're inside.
That's about it.
That's true.
It's really about it.
Yeah. Well, especially with football too. I mean, you get to be on the field for warm-ups. Yep. I mean, you can't do that for hockey. You can't do that for basketball either.
You can do it for basketball.
You
can't really get in their way.
Get on the sideline, maybe get a little closer.
Get a little bit closer, but
yeah, I know. It's really just the culture of football is different here at Ferris State, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, all the players, I love the love that I get from them on the field and on Instagram and stuff like that. That really is what's different about football compared to the other sports. I don't like a couple hockey guys follow me. I don't think like any basketball guys follow me. So it's like you said, people may know who I am, but they don't know who I am. Like,
right. And that's why you're on the program now, that people know who
exactly
Will McElfresh is. But we've certainly been blessed. Ferris State as a whole have had some great content creators and videographers in the past. Like Connor Perk was here a couple years ago. Scott Vandersloot, who did the Business Finished video at the Natty last year. Even our boy Barrett Jones that was on our program the last couple of years. Shout out to him as well. Have you ever talked to those guys and seen all their footage and taken what they've kind of shown with their content overall and really kind of being able to take that as well as your own personal touch and read those things? Or what are some of the things that you like to learn from all these other videographers and creators?
Yes, I did. More of my learning came from the beginning of the season before I started, because I really wanted to be prepared. So yeah, Scott had some amazing videos. It's great because the vibe of his videos are entirely different than mine. And I wanted to learn as much as I could from, like you said, the past people. And I feel like I did learn a lot from him, but his style is just a little different, and everyone always has their different styles, and you can always change styles. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot from Scott. I went back on the YouTube page and looked at all of his highlights. Man, they're different. Like I still think those are better than mine, like way better. But it's just because he did more like anamorphic storytelling. Hype, like really hype music, not like rap songs or anything, just like really hype. His audio was insane too. He did a lot of the thing about his audio is it's great, don't get me wrong, but he would use just audio that's like stock audio, like stock, like fan noises and stuff like that. And it's if you're really listening for it, you can notice that. So it's it's little stuff like that are almost standard in some of those videos that I stray away from. But either way, there's the shot selection and everything. Honestly, everything they did in the past, it was just so great. I did learn a lot from them watching in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, we know how kind of lax the intern group is and kind of the guidance that we can get from Harrison and Rob, which is a great thing for you and also for us to be able to kind of grow as people, especially in the sports industry. But, what was that like kind of getting started out? Was there like a lot of direction that Harrison and Rob wanted you to go into? Or was it kind of more just like tossing you out of the nest and hoping you fly type deal?
Maybe a little bit of both, more or less. Like you said, it was laid back. It was just getting some footage. Like, I don't think they expected the world out of me, which is good because they gave me the time to grow, right? But yeah, it was pretty laid back. It's really so far away to remember. It was like January, right? Yeah, it was almost like how I was now, just a high, but like pretty much what they do when they post YouTube videos and stuff like that. Just simple highlights, nothing too crazy. But I actually think back to the basketball videos I did. I remember doing hype videos for the basketball team. I already forgot what the question was.
I'll give it back to you. Were they kind of like more, or was Harrison and Rob when you started out, were they kind of more lax with it, or would they kind of give you a sense of direction where to go?
Yeah, I really wouldn't do anything like if I wasn't told to do it. And that was because I had a really busy last semester. Yeah. Definitely it's changed a lot more this semester. Yeah, they would maybe ask for some assignments. But it's more or less just going to the sports, filming them and putting them up on YouTube, which is great and all, but that's not how you grow as a videographer. Like that's how you grow as a Ferris employee, to be honest. Yeah. That if you want to grow as a videographer, you got to expand in every way you can. And that means doing stuff you're not asked to do, right? Like, especially for football this season, dude, every single Sunday, I have like 5 people at least in my DMs, like asking me to send them clips. And I love it. I mean, it's great, but also it's like, I got to put out my video. I can't really, once I put my video out, I'll just go through video and take the clips that they're in, pretty much already edited, all the collected audio and everything's already there. And I'll just send them those. Right. Which is different. It's like, now everyone's expected to send out videos. And like you said, the hockey stuff I did, like I'm pretty much everything hockey that wasn't a YouTube video this semester. I don't even think I've done any YouTube hockey stuff, honestly. I've done everything hockey I've done has been just all on me, just because I know that I wanted to make some hockey content. And I saw a couple of the hockey boys at the bar, shout out them. And they were like, man, what did Brad do for you to make them that video? But I'm just like, yeah, I got to make y'all one soon. And I did. I believe that Thursday is when I made that, the walkout video with I love that video. That was my first.
That one was cool.
That was my first like hockey, like real edit, I feel like.
Yeah.
And some of the shots in that, I didn't believe I got them. I was like, wow. Like the shot of Steiny walking or skating to the, not Steiny, it was Ice Ray, it was Noah.
Yeah.
Noah was skating to mid ice.
So
with
clean.
the light.
Do you think you'll be able to talk Harrison and let you skate out with the boys that are in during warm-ups, maybe get a few shots them warming up?
I've been trying to do that since I've gotten here, bro. I've been trying to do that. It was actually earlier in the semester. We talked about it and we were going to plan something, but I don't know. They were busy or he was busy or something. Yeah, dude, that's literally what ever since I got this job, actually, I'm pretty sure like what I was talking about earlier, how I got the job. I'm pretty sure that's like one of the first things I said. I was like, you need me on the ice. I can skate. I can at least skate with the gimbal and I can get all those shots, like, and it'd be insane. So I don't know. I just got to push them more and more, but I guess
it might be a CCHA thing. I don't know. But
no, it's more of like a team. I guess it's more like a team dynamic.
I feel like Daniels would probably be chill about it. He is a chill
coach. I don't know why he wouldn't be.
I think it's more
probably Harrison doesn't want to step on toes. I think that's the biggest thing.
But I mean, I feel like that might be a me and Brandon type deal with the rest of the interns. If we bug Harrison enough, he'll be able to. I think okay, probably.
Trust me, the shots would be different.
Oh, they would be sick.
I'm telling you, like,
they would be sick.
You ever see like Pavel Barber's work on?
Oh yeah,
on dude, he's great. I've been watching him since I was younger too. But yeah, no, I love hockey, but football, man, there's something about it. Something about our football team.
It just gets different energy, I feel like. It's a big thing.
It really is.
It's just a different sport. Here's what we'll do. When we post this and you guys are listening to it, go back to our Instagram. Make sure you follow us at the MVSP. Comment on this pod artwork post that we need Will on the ice. Let's see how many likes and how many comments.
Tag Harrison Watt.
Tag Harrison Watt. Tag Rob. Tag Will as well. Where can they find you, Will?
Tag Steve Brocklebank too.
My @ is @neversufficient.
There you go. So tag him as well. Let's get him on the ice. But Will, we've appreciated your time. One last question for you. We ask everybody on the show, what's been your favorite thing about being a Ferris State Bulldog?
Man, I think it's like I said, I think it's simple. It's really just a football experience, man. I hadn't had that much fun at Ferris. I mean, I didn't really get out into, people don't know me probably because I've just been editing for the past 3 years. I'm just filming and just staying inside. But now that I like actually know people and all that, I can get out and enjoy the experience and just like, going around campus and seeing the football guys and sitting at home making the videos, watching my Instagram blow up. Like, that's great. Like, I'm not like a materialistic, like Instagram girl. Right. But I do love the attention that our team gets, and because I know they love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's the thing for you too. You can help them get that attention that they deserve too, which is super cool. But Will, thank you so much for coming out, man.
I appreciate
Keep producing the killer videos. We can't wait to see what you produce for West Florida and all that stuff. But once again, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, boys.
Big thanks to Will for hopping on the show. I mean, I learned probably a whole crash course masterclass of videography. We only had 20 minutes with him. Could you imagine if you would have kept talking for 2 hours?
Oh yeah, if we had a full podcast to just ask him a question, dude's insane at what he does, and obviously just makes our athletic programs that much better with what he's able to do. Hype videos are just crazy. So especially with West Florida coming down for football, can't wait to see what he produces for that, and hopefully we get the W for that. But Brandon, let's hop into the Ferris State Sports Report, and we'll start with football. Like we said last episode, West Florida is coming to town, rematch the 2019 semifinal. They beat us last time, so hopefully we can get some revenge here. But we got some tough work cut out for us. They are one of the best offenses in the country. They have a pretty solid defense when it comes to interceptions, but other than that, Brandon, they're kind of lacking for West Florida. So Ferris State versus West Florida, cannot wait for this game. Definitely watch out for Caleb Murphy. For our defense is going to really step up. I think our rushing game is really going to be prevalent in this game. We were looking at it before the show as what? 110 was their rushing. They're ranked 110th.
They're not in the top 100 in rush defense,
which is surprising, seeing that they're a Final Four team.
Yeah.
But either way, this game is going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be very high scoring. We're probably going to be seeing a combined 60 points, I feel like, Brandon.
Yeah, this certainly could be a game where we see an offensive slugfest. And when you really look at West Florida's offense, they're definitely a team that you can watch out for in multi-dimensions. They're definitely great on the ground as well as in the air offensively. Their last game, they were a little bit heavier, more on the pass than the run against Wingate, but their defense really took them home. They had a dominant defensive performance all the way around. ground in that game, including 4 total interceptions in that game. They were monstrous. I think they also had 2 fumble recoveries. They really forced the turnovers, which, gives us a little bit of a scare because, of course, you mentioned, Joe, back in 19 when we lost them 28-14. That was our downfall. The nail in the coffin was the turnover. So, but if we can take care of the football, we can establish a good running game. We're probably going to see a little bit of switching, I think, with the quarterbacks. I think we're going to see a little bit more than Carson in normal sets and not just as much goal line jumbo sets. But Malik showed that he could run as well. We saw that against Grand Valley, and that's what really opened the door in the third quarter. So I think if we're going to be able to establish the RPO game, get Marcus Taylor and some of those guys some carries on jet sweeps and up the middle, I think that's going to really establish some good tempo. Third down, they're going to try to get us throw the ball a little bit errantly. They're going to try to force a lot of deep, maybe disguised coverages a little bit. But of course, we know Coach Hodges is going to have that group ready to go. And we went from our conversation that we had with them earlier this year. They are certainly going to be prepared to take on this West Florida offense. Defensively, overall, number 2 statistically ranked defense in the country. I believe firmly we are number 1, and that's why we're still alive compared to Angelo State, because this team can do it in so many dimensions. They can turn you over through the air. We saw 2 picks and 2 clutch deep interceptions in that Grand Valley game last, and of course, being able to have that dominant defensive front 7 that can stuff your rushing attack as well as get after the passer. So I think really if we can establish that, keep control of the football and be able to make those big plays like we always do, we're going to be in good shape. I know that's rinse repeat every week in and week out, but that's just the way that this team is built. It's deep. No matter who you put in there, there's talent across the board that can win you football games. And that's why this team has had 4 straight Final Fours. And that's why we're looking at a potential win to get to Texas once again this year.
And I think you're going to see an offensive shootout, but it's going to be the defenses that are going to win this game. West Florida, like we said, not the best. They are ranked 93rd in total defense, 110th in rush defense, and 72 in passing defense. So they're not really the best when it comes to that. They do have the most interceptions. I think they're tied for the most with 6 this year, I believe. Yeah. So
but 4 did come in last game.
Yeah,
so
4
you
did
take
come.
that in consideration.
So they might be getting hot at the right time, and their defense might be picking it up, or that might just be a 1-game fluke, and we might be seeing us being able to really spread the ball around on the air and on the ground. So it's going to be interesting, especially seeing that, you got a couple of guys who are, looking for revenge, kind of making it so we can get back to the national championship, get the business finished once again. But I think you're going to see, like you said, Brandon, big game from Carson. I feel like you're going to see him get moved around a lot more, especially with kind of in our own zone rather than kind of in the red zone type deal. And you're going to see Malik kind of really be able to flourish. I feel like you're going to see him scramble a lot more. You're going to see the pocket might collapse, but I feel like he's gotten a lot more comfortable with that happening. He was a little bit struggling in the first part of the year, but I think especially, against Grand Valley, against Pitt State and stuff like that, you were able to see him knock off some of those 15-yard runs, which is going to be big and huge for the program. So pretty interesting game here, man. A lot on the line. Another trip to the national championship for us, and West Florida has a chance to make it their second, national championship in 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, and they back in 19, they won it all against Minnesota State.
And we didn't have a season in 2020. So
correct.
History is on the line for both of these teams. And when you look at the other side, you got Colorado School of Mines, who doesn't want to have another knockout in the semifinals, as well as Shepherd. So these 2 teams are trying to make, I think it's Colorado.
Those are both the
School of Mines has been there before, but Shepherd has not, have they?
Both teams were in the semis last year. Mines fell in just a
heartbreaker against
Valdosta in the fourth quarter. And of course, Shepherd had the unfortunate draw against us last year in the semifinals for Jared Bernhardt's breakout game. So these teams are looking for revenge. They're both going to be, one of them's going to avenge themselves and get to the national title game. And 2 of the other teams that are normally in that situation to win are now playing against each other. So of course the storyline is going to be written in this game as well as the other game for sure. And it's going to be fun to see what happens in the finale, but definitely going to be fun to just see all the way around. West Florida is really talented across the board. They got a really nice quarterback in Pee Wee Jarrett as well. There's a couple of different running backs. They like to use 3-4 running backs as well as some receivers in their rushing game overall. Shamari Mason as well as Ravion Hargrove. Pee Wee Jarrett, of course, his quarterback will be guys to watch on the ground as well. Is David Durden is the leading receiver with 12 touchdowns for the Argonauts. So it's going to be a really fun game overall. I'm really excited for this game, Joe. We talked to Carson. We talked to Malik. We've talked to a lot of these other guys. There's 3 check marks on their board, right? There's Grand Valley, there's Valdosta, There's West Florida. Those are the teams that have knocked us out in overall with the losses the last 3 years. And now we have a chance to get that third check mark and get back to McKinney. So this game is going to be fueled with a lot of motivation, especially the senior guys that have been here and were in this West Florida game. And all the guys around them really have taken that fuel to the fire and have really made preparation key in this game. And it's looking to be a pretty nice game here, Joe, as you pulled up the weather forecast. So I think this is going to be very interesting to see how this game goes about. But, of course, when you're coming up from West Florida, might not be the same up here in the old mitten when it comes to weather.
It's supposed to be low of 28, high of 38 in Big Rapids with I don't think it's supposed to snow at all. You might see it on Friday and maybe some of that lingers over. But right now in Pensacola, it's 75 and it's not supposed to get any worse than that for the next couple of days. So they might be used to a little bit more of a warmer weather type deal. But hey, last time they came to town, it was sleeting and I think it was 15 degrees. Yeah. And they were able to beat us on that. So definitely weather might be on our side, weather might not, but we are definitely a bad weather team. We've played a lot. We've played pretty much lights out whenever it's either snowing, raining, or anything like that. When it's a little bit nicer out, we always don't seem to have the same competitive edge. But I think we'll still be able to really come out with that one, and we might be making another trip to Texas pretty soon, Brandon.
I would love that. We wish our boys the best of luck. 12:02 kickoff. Make sure you be there beforehand, of course. Just plan on noon. There you go. You get the extra 2 minutes to chill and get your seat and get ready to go for this kickoff. Rock the tap one more time. Let's send our boys to Texas once again. It's going to be a fun ride for sure. There are tickets, I believe, still available for students. You got to get over to Wink as fast as possible. And if you're listening to this, especially on Friday when it's released, you might want to get over there quick, fast, in a hurry to see if there's any left. But if not, of course, make sure you still get your tickets and come support the boys in their final football game here in Big Rapids. It's going to be a fun one across the board. And I mean, really, it's big stage, big lines. ESPN's going to be there. All the boys are going to be rearing and ready to go. So we wish our dogs the best of luck and make sure you be there on Saturday.
It's going to be a very busy press box.
It will be.
It will be very busy and very full.
Lots of networking opportunities.
That's true.
That is true.
That is true. Got some time to talk to some people who are where we want to go as well.
Absolutely.
Going to hop into next sports. We'll go with what? You want to go hockey or basketball?
Let's go hockey, man.
Let's go over to the ice. We got Northern Michigan coming to town for the next two games on Friday and Saturday. Friday will be honoring the soccer team, right?
Yes, the Final Four appearance for soccer will be honored on Friday night, so that's going to be super cool to really highlight their honoree as well as their journey to get to that point, because I know, of course, we mentioned it so many times in the show. I don't think a lot of people saw this team being a Final Four team, and what they did was absolutely phenomenal and should definitely be recognized. But there's still going to be a hockey game going on, and it's going to be a great one against the Wildcats in Northern Michigan coming to town. 7 o'clock Friday as well as 6 o'clock on Saturday. And I think when it really comes down to this game, some people I'm sure are out there saying, man, I mean, hockey's been just doing so mediocre, but they're coming off the two biggest wins, honestly.
Probably for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, easily. I mean, beating a Minnesota State team, obviously, I think the only one that comes to mind is when we were at home and we took down Minnesota State as the number 2, but this was taking down the number 10 team, sweeping them. And they were and we were able to give them their first 2 losses at home in a series, I believe, since, 2015 or 2017? I
believe so.
They hadn't been swept at home in almost 6 years, and our boys did it. It's crazy.
We have a chance to jump to number 3 in the conference right now.
Yes,
number 3. Because Minnesota State and Bemidji, if their both games go to overtime, you might see only 1 point for them, for whoever wins that one. So that will make Minnesota State, who's at 3 right now, move to 18 points and Bemidji to 17 if they split. Northern Michigan is right above us. So if a weekend sweep against a good team, that'll give us 6 points. We'll move to 20, which will move us right above Minnesota State, which, when's the last time you saw that happen?
It's been a minute,
when you saw us ranked above Bemidji, Minnesota State, Northern, all that stuff. So, but we do have to get 2 wins, and that's been something that we've kind of been struggling on home ice, is getting the sweep. I mean, we've gotten a lot of splits. A lot of the games have been the second day where we've played a lot better, but it's, once again, we just got to really show up, show out, and play some good hockey, especially against a Northern Michigan team who's coming off a big split against Michigan Tech in, it's not the Minor Cup. Because that's the football one. Mm-hmm. But it's like the Battle of Munn or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Of course,
look it up here.
Yeah, their Michigan Tech, Northern Michigan rivalry is always one. It's pretty equivalent to our Ferris State Grand Valley rivalry, of course, but obviously with hockey, that doesn't really apply since Grand Valley does not have a Division I hockey team. But I think when it really comes down to it, I think what happened was our boys, I think, really found the quality looks that we've been looking to get into the game plan. Because when you look at these two games that they last played, they only had a combined 26 shots in those two games combined, 13 apiece. We ended up scoring 5 goals. I'm not a mathematician, of course, but that's pretty close to 20% conversion rating on shots. I'll take a goal on 5 shots any day. So, 1 goal in every 5 shots, I should say, any day. So that is really the biggest thing going in is the quality looks, being able to move the puck around, get those looks where you want them, and being able to really control the game in the defensive end. They really did a great job despite Minnesota State had a lot of looks. I think you counted them, Joe, like over 70 chances that they had on net in that series, and they were only able to score 3 times. I think that really gives a lot of credit to our defense, as well as the sacrifice that they made, blocking shots, being able to get in front and take those shots, as well as our goaltenders playing absolutely phenomenal between the pipes throughout this game. But really, when it comes down to it, you just showed the math here, Joe. This is a chance for us to be number 3 right now. We're going to need all the fan support that we can get against Northern Michigan. Make sure you get your tickets, and you can stick around, especially on Saturday. You can watch that football game against West Florida, and then file right in to watch a Northern Michigan hockey game against us. So it's going to be really fun there. But I think with that overall rivalry with Northern Michigan coming off of that split against Michigan Tech, they're definitely going to have a little bit of momentum going into this game. And they're going to know. They're looking at the table. They're only 1 spot above us, only 1 point above us. They know that this is just as important game for them.
There's 3 points separating the middle 4 teams.
Yeah.
And an additional 7 for St. Thomas, who's right below us.
Yeah, and
which is crazy.
With Michigan Tech too, only 5 away from 3rd.
Yeah, I keep on my mic.
As second. No, you're good. It happens. We got a lot of good stuff.
I'm looking at my right, and I keep hitting my face on it. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting weekend. Very excited for it. I missaid something. It's 2 points for an overtime win or a shootout win, and then 1 point for if you lose that. But either way, even if we get the sweep and Minnesota and Bemidji split, it doesn't matter. We'll just be a little bit less points above them. But
what if Minnesota State gets swept? You never know.
You could be seeing that.
You could be points points in bunches sometimes, man. Teams can go in slumps.
Apart. They're not doing so good, especially after losing Dryden McKay and a lot of their seniors. Still number 10. But hey, when Ferris State gets a vote in the top 20 for the USCHO.
Yeah, when they got a receiving vote, I think they deserved it.
That's big time
for how they played,
especially after the last quick turnaround from 3 years ago or 2 years ago, our freshman year.
Yeah,
when we had no wins again, and then we won one against like a D3 university.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Tough looks.
But look how far we've come, and look how far the CCHA has come. You got.
I'd say so too. Before it was kind of like one-sided.
6 teams that are over 500. I don't think you can look at any other division or conference and see that overall in an entire conference. We got teams in the CCHA that are ranked higher than Big Ten teams.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man.
That's insane. That's just crazy, man. Yeah. This league is good, and these boys are playing good. So you need to come out and support.
And you're going to see some pretty good competition, especially once winter break starts, and then we hit the GLI because you got an NCHC team, 2 CCHA teams, and a Big Ten team. Yeah. Michigan State, Ferris, Michigan Tech, and Western.
Yeah. So the GLI is going to be nuts, which
top 3 conferences in the nation, man.
Yeah, but it pretty much is. And I think you can still get tickets for that if I'm not.
Probably tossing Hockey East too.
Oh, yeah, true. Well, you can always talk.
Regardless, top three.
Yeah, I think we can agree that's top 3. Top 3, if not top 3 out of 5. You could say overall with the other conferences as well as the Atlantic.
No, CCHA on top all day.
Oh, I agree 100%. This is the best conference, and our boys are doing it. And a lot of strong play all the way around, especially from a lot of the younger guys. Stepan Picorni has played well, as well as Andrew Noel, who got honored this last week as well. Goaltenders, Noah and Logan have been lights out. We've seen a lot of great play overall from a lot of the young guys as well. We talked about Connor McGrath early in the year, the road that he's had as well. And I did look at a lot of the plus minuses overall in the season, the guys that have been on when the goals have been coming. And Travis Schaudi's sitting at +4 right now, as well as Nick Nardici at +3, Tyler Schleppe at +3, as well as Stepan. So that top line has been pretty solid as far as the number 1 goal scoring unit on this team. But you're seeing seeing that still spread around. And I think, you still got guys on the other line that bring a lot of great play as well. Like you got guys, of course, like Bradley Merrick, and you can just keep naming names all day long. With a lot of these other guys, I think Matt Slick is one of the biggest glue pieces on this team since he came over. Blake Evano has been a phenomenal defenseman for us. So you look at a lot of these guys and you see not only great skill, but you see the ability to be physical against a lot of these physical teams. They're not afraid to shove guys around. And that's what I really appreciate about these guys. I know I've talked about Andrew Noel. Like I see him as the old 90s enforcer. He can wreck you into the boards and he'll slap one from the blue line and get you a goal. So I literally love to watch him play, as well as you got all these other guys that can really bring a lot of finesse and a lot of versatility. Mitch Dealstra comes to mind. And I said Matt Slick already as well, but it's going to be a great weekend. I encourage everybody to come out. It's going to be a fun game all the way around. If not, you can watch on Full Hockey TV as well. Yours truly might be on the call sometime this weekend. So it's going to be a fun weekend all the way around and going to be some great hockey to be played.
Yeah, cannot wait. It's going to be a blast. And especially speaking of Northern Michigan, they're also going to be facing off against both of our basketball teams, but we're going to be heading up to Marquette, which is going to be a fantastic ride for them, especially seeing that it might snow on their way up there. So that's going to be tough looks for that. But I think especially when we get to the gymnasium, it's going to be a different story. Our teams have been rolling so far, men's team especially. However, Northern Michigan does have a preseason basketball player or men's basketball player of the year, Max Bjorklund, who also dropped 40 of us, 31 of that coming on in the second half from last year. So It's going to be an interesting game, especially seeing that, our offense has just been lights out so far. But Northern looks to be the same way. So it's going to be kind of an offensive shootout, I feel like. Yeah,
absolutely. You look at these two teams and you see offense across the board with the way that these two teams play. And not saying like overall, like Northern Michigan's a offensive heavy team. They still play really well overall defensively. But obviously with Max Bjorklund, of course, you said, Joe, they definitely have a true finisher on that team if the game gets close. We saw that obviously from last year. But I think with overall the elements, I think there are I shouldn't say teams. I think there's a lot of ways that we can beat this team, especially as you look overall in the games that they've played this year with Northern, obviously. They have dropped the 100 burger earlier this season in their opener against McKendree, but they also let up 93 to those guys on November 12th. So that's certainly one to watch out for. And really, they're going to be coming off a little bit of I wouldn't call it a disappointing loss, but they're a better team than Parkside in my book. And they fell to them by 8 at Parkside and Kenosha. So they're going to be hungry to get back on track, especially at home against us. They know that they have done it before and they can do it again. But I really like what this team has overall done as far as just being able to score in bunches. When you get on those cold streaks and you're able to make a run and get back into games, that's what's going to keep you in a lot of those close games. And that's really going to get you an ability to beat somebody any given day. So, but there was a lot of movement overall around the scoreboard here last week, Joe, as well. And especially some notable games across the board that have really shook up the standings right now because, Parkside's sitting technically, I think, at the top, tied with us right now because they haven't lost a game, I believe.
GLIAC website, stop being stupid.
Yeah, they're tied with us right now, and Lake State are 2-0. So that's going to make it a little interesting. But we got an opportunity this weekend to try to distance ourselves. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially with this game has a pretty big implication, especially being just an earlier game. You really want to have a really strong outing for this one because this is going to kind of really set the tone for the weekend, especially because you have Michigan Tech the following Sunday, just 2 days later, which is also a good team. They're a little bit lower on the standings so far, 2-7 on the season, but they're a team that, I feel like can really do some damage if you're not too careful with them. So it's going to be, honestly, if we just hold on the ball and don't turn it over, I feel like it's lights out. Yeah. Because we got guys who can get hot no matter what.
Yeah, don't beat yourselves. That's really what it comes down to. But Max Bjorklund will certainly be one to watch. He's pretty much been their leading scorer.
Over under 27 for Max Bjork.
Oh, for Max Bjorklund.
27.5.
I'm going to say under. Our defense is going to lock him down. If we had a betting casino, of course, which obviously we can't do that with the NCAA, but maybe if we did eventually at professional level, hey, you never know.
As we are employed by this university.
Yeah, of course. But Brian Passarge is also a very good player for them. He's a pretty solid shooter, shooting over 33% from 3-point range this year, as well as Dylan Cool, who's one of their big men. Certainly going to be one to watch for all season long. He's their leading rebounder, I believe. With 5.3. boards per game. So we'll see that matchup with him against Grisoulis and Nathan Klauerbaut as well as Reese Hazelton. So that's going to be a good matchup as well. But I like our chances. I think we got a lot of just the versatility of scoring, Joe. And really that kind of goes over to the women's as we'll get to them in just a minute. It just makes your team that much more lethal when, you look at this Northern team, they have Max Jorklin. He's amazing. He's incredible. He can be an All-American. But when you only got one guy, you lock that guy up, you can double team a little bit. Yeah. That gives your offense
who's going to be the next guy up? And I think that's the one thing is, if Ben Davidson gets hot, you lock him up, but then you got to worry about Ethan Erickson. He gets hot. Vegas can sling it from three. We saw that against Grand Valley.
I think Solo is a good ISO player as well. It's pretty ironic that's his nickname because he'll take you solo and he's going to score on you. You
got Klauerbaut, or was it Nathan? That's the taller one.
Nathan's the taller one.
Yeah, who's kind of switches out with Vegas down low. He can really do some damage down there. So it's going to be I would say it's going to be a pretty difficult task for them to shut us down, but it's not impossible because we have seen that before, especially last year against Davenport in the GLIAC tournament opener when we kind of came out a little bit slow. So we can really have a chance to start out 3-0 on the conference and then go into Michigan Tech and then be 4-0, but it's just going to have to really come down to coming out hot and being able to really play solid basketball. No turnovers, get hot from three, and then just keep the train rolling.
Yeah, and that applies to the women as well. Those are going to be two big games for them, taking on Northern and Michigan Tech as well. Which you look at the GLIAC standings, that's jumbled already. So it's going to be really, these early games have all the implications in the world, of course, because, obviously teams can get on a hot start and then they can kind of flame out, or vice versa, even when you go into the tournament play. But right now, Northern's a team, I believe, that was ranked above us. So I think you look into that and you see their pretty good start so far. They're undefeated in conference play, but really, when you look at it, I think there are ways that you can beat this team, of course, as well. So I think really when you look at the versatility of scoring on our side, I think that applies just as much as the men's team. Really without having, Maya Hiram as well as Caden Blanchard, which prayers that their surgeries go this well and they can get back to their next season as hot as they started with last season. You really see how this team has performed so far. Of course, Northern Michigan has been a team that has played really well in some games, and then they haven't played so well in some games. Defensively, they're a very solid team as of recently. They've played in a lot of low-scoring games. They beat Purdue Northwest. It was 64-48, as well as Wisconsin Parkside. Get ready for this one, Joe. 47-35 in a 40-minute basketball game. That by itself can show you how good they are defensively. But I think if you find those holes where you can get some of those 3-point shots up, move and transition, that's where this team can really shine. And I think that's where they play their best basketball, when they get set up and they can run Coach Wessendorp's offense to a T, not turn the ball over, as you mentioned, Joe. And we stress that so much. And that's really, truly what can get teams wins throughout the entirety of the season. I think that's just as important, especially in an opposing gym. Obviously, you're going to have the fans going to be screaming at you, yelling at you, trying to get you off your game, try to get in your head a little bit. But this team, they can block it out. They can do really well. We've seen it last year, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, and especially when we get hot too. We can really light it up from the floor. We're averaging 81 points per game. Chloe's been really killing it, having, last 3 games? Is she over 20 points or near 20
Pretty much,
points?
Yeah. 3 out of the last 4 for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to see her kind of really step it up there. I feel like the big thing is going to be capitalizing on open looks, especially if we move the ball around, as well as, taking the ball down low and kind of forcing opportunities to show up, and not like carelessly or anything like that. But I think the one thing that we did against Grand Valley that kind of lost us the game was we were trying to find the perfect opening, when there was times where, if you're swinging around, it's not always going to open. So you kind of got to really drive, kind of draw some players in and stuff like that. So that way they can, create opportunities yourself rather than trying to get them to open up naturally, which is the one thing that I think we've that's like one of the only things that we've really struggled on, really, to be fair. But I think you're going to see really strong performances from Mallory. I think she's going to have a big assist game in both of these games. And I think Chloe's probably going to get 25, probably one game, and then near 15, 20 points a second. So I think especially with how much our offense has been putting up points, I think you're going to see 75, 80. You might even see 85. I don't think against Northern because they've been more of a defense stout team, because they've all the teams that they've played so far, I don't think don't think have scored over 50, 60 points, but I think we'll probably break that streak. We won't score, 50 or anything, but we'll probably put up 65, 70 on them. And then Michigan Tech, especially, hopefully we can get the 2 wins because that'll be a big roll into the next week. And especially coming off the 1 loss against Grand Valley from last week, will put us in a pretty solid spot in the GLIAC standings.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely huge. I mean, Michigan Tech offensively I wouldn't call them a juggernaut per se, but they're definitely a very strong offensive team. They average 37% from 3-point range, 80 from the line, as well as 75.8 points per game. So that can show you right there, just on paper, how good they are overall shooting the basketball, as well as they have a couple really good players for them. Ellie McKay, of course, has been one that we've not been able to watch for years now. She's been a phenomenal player. She's in her senior season, so she's ready to get as much success as she can with this team. Isabella Lenz as well. Sophomore guard's been playing really well this year at 13.4 points per game. So those are going to be 2 names to watch, I think, for sure. With Michigan Tech, they have a lot of other great players down low. There's a lot of versatility. So I think this is going to be a very fun game to watch as well. If you want to make the trek up to Houghton, we encourage that as well. But of course, you can check out the game online as well as listen in on radio at 97.3 with Rob and Sandy, of course, who will be covering. I don't actually know if they'll be covering that game since it'll be on Sunday. Will they? I don't know if they'll make the drive, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Who knows? They might be leaving like right after football.
Yeah, that could be true. So I'm not quite sure, but if they do, I mean, we can obviously follow online
tomorrow.
Maybe we'll have to ask him. So either way, you can follow online, of course, always with the live stats of the game. It'll be online on the link somewhere, so you can make sure to follow that. Or even better, Joe, they can subscribe to this podcast and whatever podcast platform you're on, and we'll tell you about it next week as well.
I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, you probably should.
Why are you saying me?
Well, I wasn't going to say it because shameless plug. But
oh, yeah. Of course. You're the king of shameless plugs.
Yeah. I just wanted you to have a chance of the shameless plug.
Aw.
So I usually say it.
Yeah. Joe looks out for me so much. I truly appreciate that, Joe.
Hey, no problem, man.
Absolutely. So anyway, we're going to start hating each other here in a minute. It's our NFL predictions time. Stay tuned here on the MBSP. Are you a Ferris State student interested in getting into audio production, music, podcasting, or even DJing? Bulldog Radio could be the place for you with plenty of opportunities and hands-on experience within not only these realms, but the marketing and social media opportunities outside. Join us to have your voice heard. No other place than Bulldog Radio.
Coming back on the show now, football picks coming in for week 14, but we got to go for week 13 picks from last week. Brandon, you were able to notch me out of this one. I think now it's all tied up at 4-4, I believe. We'll double check that for next week. But yeah, 11 out of 16 choices for Brandon. If he had an 11-leg parlay, he would have won a good amount of money. 9 for 16 for me. So a little bit less of a good day for me, but a good day for Brandon.
Yeah.
But it's a new week.
It is a new week.
I'm ready to take you down for this week, Brandon.
Oh, all right. And for the record, I am a Kenny Rogers fan, but I'm not a gambling man. So
you got to know
the 11-leg parlay. Yeah, I know you love that song. Anyways. I'm not going to bet an 11-leg parlay, but if I did, I mean, hey,
you could have won.
I could have won. Also,
solid amount of money.
You can win an NFL player signed football on the NFL.com website, I think. There is terms and conditions, so you probably have to sign your life away like a sweepstakes, but hey, it looks kind of cool.
Ford Shine Bright sales event as well on the NFL's website.
Yeah, get a new Ford. That's interesting. Anyway, let's get
into week 14.
Thursday night. Raiders at Rams, Joe. You start us up, brother.
This one's going to be tough now that the Rams got the best quarterback of all time. With Baker Mayfield getting picked up. Now, I think it's going to be Raiders here. They played pretty well against the Chargers last week. And the Rams, I feel like, even though they got Baker, who's a lot better than their backup, I forgot who their backup was from last week.
Bryce Perkins, as well as John Wolford.
How could I forget these Hall of Fame names? But it's going to be Raiders. I'd say 28-18 is what it's going to be.
Good pick, Joe.
Devontae Adams going to have a good game.
Good pick. I'm going to follow suit, give my buddy Canary some props as a Raiders fan. I'm going to go with his team here on Thursday Night Football. I'm sure this will be on our TV when I get home after wing night tonight. But, I think this is going to be a Raiders game. Last time it was pretty darn close. I think we're going to see a similar outcome. I think this is going to end up being around a 24-17 ball game. There you go. That's my selection. Next pick on deck, get into the Sunday slate. Jets at the Bills. Mike White, Joe. He's balling and shot calling.
He is.
Maybe not as well as the week before.
But it is the Bills. It is the Bills. Bills have not really been playing like they were at the start of the year. I will say that. And honestly, the Jets at 7-5, pleasant surprise for a lot of people. I want to go with the upset. I really do. I really do. And I'm going to. Jets are going to win this one. I think it's going to be a shootout. Mike White might have a 5-touchdown thing and just have another jersey in the Hall of Fame type deal.
He could.
Jets are going to win this one 27-25.
Okay, I like the pick. The Jets defense this year has been very underrated. I
think Sauce is going to lock up Stephon Diggs.
Ooh, that's a pretty good prediction. The only reason I'm not going to go with the Jets is because they also got to worry about Isaiah McKenzie and Gabe Davis.
That's true.
As well as Josh Allen, who they're going to have to try to keep in the box. I think that's going to be a tough assignment for the Jets. I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills in this one. I'm going to go 35-27, the final. The Bills get their 10th victory of the season. So next on deck, AFC North.
Browns versus
battle
Bengals.
Of the orange teams. Bengals hosting the Browns. I think I'm going to go with Joe Burr, coming off a big win against Mahomes, and I think he's going to keep that train rolling, despite Deshaun Watson now as the quarterback of the Browns. I think their offense has really significant, I wouldn't call it an impact that they have on the season, because I feel like their offense has been really good, but nobody's really talking about their offense. I mean, Jamar Chase is back. You have T. Higgins having the season of his life so far. And I think right now, the only thing that is kind of giving me a little bit concerned, we don't know if Joe Mixon's going to be back, but Samaje Perrine's been just as good. So I'm going to take the Bengals offense to beat the Browns defense. I think that's where this game's going to come down. I think the Bengals will slow down the running game of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt just enough. I think the Bengals win this game 27-24 over the Cleveland Browns.
So you said 27-24. I think it's
same score as last week for the Bengals.
I think also same thing. Not the same score, but Bengals are going to win this one, especially coming off a good game against Kansas City. It wasn't in Kansas City. That's a pretty big confidence booster, especially a lot of people saying their offensive line was a little bit weak. Defense was kind of struggling and stuff like that too. But I think you're going to see them pick up their 9th win this week against the Browns. Deshaun Watson, I just feel like even when he was in Houston and stuff like that, he just really wasn't as good. He was kind of like a C+, B- tier quarterback, and you got Joe Burr, who's an A+. So, and honestly, the Bengals versus the Chiefs might be kind of the new rivalry thing, especially with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. But I'm gonna go Bengals. We'll say 35-28.
Okay. B- quarterback. Wow, that's something. That's a hot take right there, Joe.
Yeah. For some reason.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah. Next, battle of big things. Of course, talking Texans and Cowboys. Houston versus Dallas. Can we just make a consensus and move on? Cowboys by 35.
Yeah.
Maybe not 35. Actual score prediction for the Cowboys. No analysis necessary. 9 wins versus 1 win team. I
just put Cowboys by a lot.
Did you really write that down? Oh, I see it on your paper. That's awesome. Give me the Cowboys 38-13. Yeah, it's not.
Honestly, that's generous. I would say I think they're probably going to score 1. But regardless, another consensus pick coming up. Vikings versus Lions.
Kool-Aid.
Give us the Kool-Aid.
Let's go. I was
Lions.
at the Jacksonville game.
Dude, how was that?
It was insane. The crowd was awesome.
I heard it. It was getting
incredible
loud.
Game.
What was it? 40-14 or something like that?
It was an absolute blowout. It was 40-14. And let me tell you, the offense never punted the football. And that is a dream to watch as a fan. Of course, we love watching Jack Fox, put up those 60-yard sky hooks, which also we got down in the field to watch in warm-ups. Jack Fox is an absolute wizard, what he can do with the football. But anyway, give me the Jets. Just kidding. Give me the Lions in this game. I don't know why I said Jets there. I was just literally on the mind of, well, I can tell you why. I was watching the Jets score up on there to see how Mike White was doing, because me and my buddies were having a discussion about Mike White throughout the entirety of the hotel night we stayed there on Saturday, which also there's a debate between Mike White and Daniel Jones as starting quarterback, the best starting quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to get into the discussion, but give me the Lions. I'm going to get them by, I think I'm going to give them by 3. This one's got to be close in this game. I'm going to go 30-27. We beat the Vikings, Joe, and we're near playoff contention. How cool is that?
So, dude, that would be insane. I'm going to also, obviously I'm going to go to the Lions, but I was just kind of looking at their previous scores in the past couple weeks. Have not had a lot where they've been less than 30 points. Had a little fluke against the Cowboys on the 20th of November when they only scored 3, but that was kind of an outlier. I'm going to say if Lions want to win, they got to score bunches, and they already did last week against not a good team, but still scoring bunches. That's what you like to see. I think we're going to put up another 40 spot. It's going to be 40-33.
There you go. Out of the teams in the NFL that have scored 30 points, you know what team's done it the most?
line?
The Detroit Lions at
What was the
6.
score that you said? I was busy looking up a thing.
Oh, 30-27 is what I said.
30-27.
Yes, sir. Next game, NFC East battle at the Meadowlands. Eagles at the Giants, Joe. I know you're a big Daniel Jones fan.
Give me Philly.
Philly. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of has to be at this point, because what was it last week? Did they win last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still was a tie. So against a basically even match Commanders, I mean, that's what you're kind of expecting it, especially, they almost had the exact same record, but Washington Commanders don't have anywhere near, I feel like, the amount of firepower that the Eagles do, and the Eagles are probably going to move to 12-1. So
okay, there you go. I am really hesitant to pick them because they're such a good team. You're like, man, when are they going to lose? And I'll tell you when they're going to lose. They're going to lose in week 16 at Dallas, and they're going to lose in week 17 against the Saints. Those are the two games I'm going to call right now that they lose. And even maybe the Giants, one of those games, if they have to bench starters for how well they've played. But give me the Eagles as well. I'd rather pick them to be right to win instead of picking right to be wrong. I got a buddy that's an Eagles fan as well, and he wanted them to pick me on the podcast. So give me the Eagles. Give me a close game, though. You ready for this, Joe? 23-20. I think this is going to be a little bit lower scoring than people think it is. So
I put 24-17.
Okay, we're on the same boat.
So we're pretty much in the same spot.
I like it.
That's what I see right there.
Next pick on deck. Ooh, that's a good one. Ravens
this could
at
be
Steelers.
Here. The future quarterback of Detroit, Lamar Jackson, against the Steelers.
Are you calling that right now?
Honestly, from what it looks like, it could be pushing towards it.
Oh, dog.
If we're really looking forward to
that. Could be something. But right now, it looks like Lamar might not play in this game. So that's a little concerning. It's right now Tyler Huntley is the man under center. But I believe they also made a claim out there, I believe, for actually Brent. Why was it Brent Hundley? So they have two Huntleys on the team, I think, on the team now. Maybe not, but I'm not quite sure how that goes. But right now, when you looked at the Ravens last week, you were ultra scared, which is why I'm kind of hesitating to start looking at the Steelers in this game. Overall, from what I have heard over on the injury report, because I think really it comes down to, will Lamar Jackson be able to play in this game? That's going to determine my pick right now. And based on the recent news that I have heard about Lamar Jackson and his injury, as well as all the things around it, he's missed practice the last 3 days. They've already seen that they've lost some offensive linemen. He appears to be a PCL injury, so I think he's going to be out for this week. So I think right now I'm going to go with the Steelers, as crazy as that sounds. They've played a lot better football. They're controlling the game a lot better, and I think that's going to get them a win on this game. Give me a final score here of 17-14, a battle of defenses in classic AFC North fashion.
Nice. I also went Steelers, but I went 21-13.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Joe's probably trying to steal my picks because I won last week, but that's beyond the point. No, I'm just kidding, Joe.
You can't beat me if we have the same exact picks,
that is true. Jacksonville at Tennessee. The drubbing last week, I think, is going to have a lingering effect here. Give me the Tennessee Titans. They did fire their GM this week, but Mike Vrabel still has enough to get the job done. Big game on deck for Derrick Henry this week. Give him 100+ yards, at least a score. Give me the Titans as well by at least a score and a half. Give me them 31-21 over Jacksonville.
Yeah, I believe so as well. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. Derrick Henry's just going to have a game, especially when you look at Jacksonville and they lost that bad to the Lions last week. Titans are a better team than the Lions. Let's be real. So Titans are going to win this one. I'd say 37-21.
Ooh, good pick. Next game on deck. You want to say it with me, Joe?
Well,
Broncos country.
37-21.
Let's cry. Chiefs are definitely blowing them out in this game. Give me the Chiefs by 21. Yes, I did say that. 45-24. Goodness gracious. The Broncos had every chance to win that game last week, and they still blew it. They lost Lamar Jackson. Their running game got banged up. Their defense was playing all right, enough to get them to win the game.
You're giving the Broncos 24 points?
Huh?
You're giving the Broncos 24 points?
Yeah, because they're actually going to score, and it's not going to be worth it.
Dude, they put up 9 points last week.
No, because that's how bad this team's going to be. They're actually going to score against the Chiefs, but it's not going to matter because they're going to give up 45. That's how this team plays. They literally find a way to do everything right and do everything wrong at the same exact time. It doesn't make sense.
Pretty ludicrous.
I know I'm a little crazy.
Ludicrous.
But I'll be a little crazy. That's fine.
I said Chiefs as well, but they're going to win probably like 40-14, maybe.
Okay, there you go. I think that's more realistic.
The maybe part goes to the 14. I don't even know if they'd score 14.
I don't think so either. I think if we're realistic, I think it'd be 27-3. But anyway, Seahawks hosting the Panthers here. We'll wrap these up real quick here on this lengthy episode. Seattle, give me Seattle in this game. I think Geno Smith has been balling. I think that they, despite having a little bit of concerns on who's running the football, a lot of guys banged up on their running backs. Kenneth Walker looks like he might be trending not to play, which is well for DJ Dallas. So it might be Travis Homer show. I don't think it matters. I think Geno Smith and that receiving crew are going to get it done against the Panthers, who have had troubles, especially in the secondary. So give me the Seahawks in this game. It's probably going to be probably as high scoring as they've played all season. Give me them. I think I'm going to go a little weird score, 33-24. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, that's a weird score. I also said Seattle 21-18 though. So it's going to be a little bit closer.
There you go. Next game, Bucks at San Francisco. It's Tampa Bay against who at quarterback? Brock Purdy? Mr. Irrelevant?
He's not irrelevant no more though. He came out and slung it around, and he's going to sling it all over the Buccaneers defense. I'll tell you that much right now. I feel like he's going to have a breakout game. Mr. Irrelevant's going to go crazy.
Are you picking the Niners?
I'm picking the Niners, yeah.
What?
I'm picking the Niners against the Buccaneers. It's going to be a home game for them. I think everybody's going to get after it. Everybody's going to be excited. They were away last game. No, they were home. So it's going to be two homecomings for Brock Purdy. Everybody was like, oh, he is Mr. Irrelevant, doesn't matter. But guess what? He's going to matter, and he's going to matter big time against the Buccaneers. They're going to win, let's say 30-23.
Wow. Okay. I'll play contrarian. Why not? Give me Tampa. I think this team is not as powerful as they were obviously when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. No shot.
But they find ways to win games. They showed that against the Saints last week. I really like that going into a game like this, where I think we're going to see a little bit slower tempo each side with how well the defenses have played. So give me the Buccaneers in this game. The Buccaneers. I'm still thinking about my Broncos comment because of, I'm actually, maybe this is a ploy by Denver to make us talk about them so much we can't help but think about how bad they've been. Maybe that's a marketing scheme. I don't know. But yes, give me the Buccaneers 22. Did I say 2017 already? If not, I can change. Yeah, I'll just change it. 17-14. It's going to be a slow scoring game, my friend. Anyway, Joe's laughing about something, but we'll keep it going here.
It's, if you want me to say, EA put out like a player boost thing for...
and it's Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke got a +1.
He's a 69 overall, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir.
Get him on your mutt immediately. Nice. Anyway, Dolphins at the Chargers. This is going to be a fun game here, Joe. I think with the Chargers and Brandon Staley, you're coaching for your job right now because this Chargers team is too talented to be 500.
It's honestly, it's very interesting to see how abysmal they've been in a lot of these big games and how they've fallen short. They should be a team just like the Dolphins, 8-4 at least, if not less losses than that. However, I think they're going to move to 6-7. Dolphins are going to go into Los Angeles and really kind of give them a run for their money. So I think Dolphins are going to win this one 28-22.
22. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I like it. I love Mike McDaniel. Can we all agree that Mike McDaniel is the guy that everybody loves across the NFL? Yeah, and he's authentic too. That's what I love about him the most. As much as I want to go with the Chargers, I'm going to roll with Joe here on this one. I liked his analysis, and he might have flipped me in my pick to go with the Dolphins here. So I think this is a big game for Tua. I think the Chargers secondary's got to step up, and even if they don't, overall, their offense has been a little out of sync overall the last couple of weeks. So I think the Dolphins defense can create enough chaos and turnovers to win the game by a final score of 32-20. Yeah, I think this is going to be a close game until the Dolphins add an insurance score in the fourth quarter. I think that's what's probably going to happen. Monday night finale, Patriots at Cardinals.
Give me Patriots.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were going with the
It's
Cardinals
weird.
there.
It's weird. I'm going to do a quick little check. I'm going to say the Patriots mainly because Mac Jones is good. And
Yeah.
It's just the Cardinals have not been selling me on a lot of these close games, because especially with ones that they're supposed to blow out or win, they do. And that's why they have 4 wins. But a lot of the games that they're supposed to, it might be a little bit of a battle, but they're slated to win, especially in the start of the year. And now that DeAndre Hopkins is back, you should be winning games. Like you have what it is. But I mean, it's tough though, because you look at it, they just haven't been playing good. It was double XP weekend a couple weeks ago for Kyler, so he was probably just super busy with that.
Brother.
But Patriots, I feel like, are going to be more focused for this game. 6-6 are going to move to 7-6 for sure. Give me Patriots 18-14.
They are coming off a bye, but I don't think that's going to matter against Bill Belichick, even if they're at home. I think the Patriots ground game, I think Ramondre Stevenson has a great game. And I think this game's going to be a very fun game overall to watch, as crazy as that sounds. But I agree with you, Joe. I think the Cardinals should win this game. I think they should be favored to win this game. But I hate the way that they play. It bothers me. Cliff Kingsbury's play calling just really irks at me sometimes when I watch the Arizona Cardinals play on a rare occasion. And that just it gets to me. So I'm going to go against them just off of pure gut. In this game, I'm going to go with the final here of probably 34-28.
It's tough at the end to come up with scores.
I know, because I want to pick a different one every time.
I don't want to go chalk, but I also don't want to go the same ones that I've been saying the whole time. You know what I mean?
I mean, realistically, I feel like the best chance for you to hit a score is like do a common score of like 28-21 and just do it 15 times, because then you're going to hit one of them, right? I mean, I don't see how there wouldn't be a game that would end.
We could either have both 11 choices right this week or 11 choices wrong, because we chose the same on like 11 matchups.
Did we really?
Yeah. But I mean, you look at it though, there's good games, but
there's a lot of chalk heavy.
Most of them are chalk heavy.
Yeah, they are a lot of chalk heavy.
Seahawks versus Panthers, probably going to be chalk.
Chiefs, Broncos,
chalk.
Yep.
Titans, Jaguars, chalk. Yep. I could see the only variation you're going to see is probably Patriots, Cardinals, Ravens, Steelers,
Dolphins, Chargers,
and Raiders. You might see Raiders, Rams.
I think that's going to be a better game than people think it's going to be.
I think so too.
I don't know if Baker's going to play, but if he does, then the Raiders win.
Speaking of, also, since I was writing on this paper, get yourself a Pilot G2. These pens fly, dude.
Best pen.
These pilots are
hands down top tier.
I would say Sharpie S gel pen and these ones. It's like you're not even writing.
Yeah,
it's like you're writing on air almost.
I only write with pilots.
Yeah.
Well, unless obviously you have to write with a paper mate or something. More fun.
When you gotta do, let me tell you what, underrated. When you are taking notes with a good pen,
it's actually enjoyable.
Fun.
It's
you have fun because you want it to keep going. Because you're like, this is my handwriting is looking fantastic. It's just the best.
Yeah, Joe has better handwriting than I do. That's for sure. You also like to write in caps, right?
Yeah, I write in all
big caps, little caps. Yeah, I used to do that too. My parents taught and my brother taught me how to do that. So
I used to do it, and then whenever we're getting sidetracked at the end of the show, but I'm just gonna keep on going. I used to do it, but when I go fast, I was starting to go like halfway cursive. Where like my letters were kind of connected and started getting really messy. And I was just can't be having this. I can't even read my own notes. They're getting all jumbled. So then
I can understand that.
More uniformed, as they say.
Sure. So, yes, go get yourself a Pilot G2 and
a little expensive, but worth the money.
Absolutely, I would agree with that.
They are like $10 for a 4-pack or something like that.
It is.
But like you said, worth it.
They're worth it. Also, delete 4-color pens. Just get them out of here. Get them out of here. Those are trash.
Get rid of Bics. Get rid of every other one. If it's not a Sharpie S gel pen or a Pilot G2, get it out of there.
I didn't think Bics were that bad.
Oh, I don't like Bics.
Yeah, I mean, they're cheap, but I mean, you can get those in high quantity though.
If you don't, if one piece of information that I want you to take from this podcast it's not even the sports part. It's just remember that a good pen makes you feel better about doing work. I'll tell you what.
No, it is true. I 100% agree. So, as well as pencils, Ticonderoga black pencils.
Underrated.
Beautiful.
Underrated.
I just gave you some ASMR right there. I don't think I've done that in a long time. So,
snapping
fingers.
Maybe we'll have to do an ASMR episode, but we're getting out of hand, Brandon. We'll close it out. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Thanks so much to Will for coming on as well. Can't wait to see what everybody does this weekend for Ferris Sports, as well as what NFL goes down this weekend too. Brandon, it's been a good one. Take care, everybody.